Logistics is a vital component of supply chain management. And it's why so we will have a basic understanding on it today. Session 3 is mainly going to focus on logistic concept, which is an integral part of supply chain management, or the supply chain management umbrella has a special place or a special importance on ingredient components of that umbrella is logistic. The picture in front of you right now can make the differentiation between supply chain management and logistic management very clearly. The first thing to understand is the overall process of raw material to finished good is covered under the umbrella of supply chain management. This whole process. But that is what we understood from our previous sessions, that in addition to supply goods movement, services movement in the supply chain, there is something additional which supply chain management does it. It collects the real-time data, it analyzes the real-time data, it plans the whole supply chain and continuously work for improvement of supply chain. Whether it is a demand forecast, it is a raw material production forecast, or the forecast for the productions. Complete. So the supply chain management is a complete outlook of including logistics and the planning and data analysis in real-time mode. So to make sure that the things from start to end respect the demand curves, meet the real-time needs of the market, addresses any risk involved into it with the help of available real-time data and risk mitigation plan in place. In this supply chain big umbrella, the component which take care of movements of goods, its raw material or the finished goods till the hands of customer, is dealt by the logistics. And the logistics is not only related with just the movement. It deals with procurement also. So we will see in the coming slides to come, we'll get a more better understanding of logistics role in supply chain management. This slide, just keep in your mind, because this is a very good pictorial view and understanding of the things, which clearly identifies the differentiation between supply chain management and logistics, because always a great confusion takes place between these words and supply chain being replaced with logistic being used with supply chain. No. When we are talking of supply chain management, it's an overall solution to the industry. Logistics is a specific arm of supply chain management, which includes goods movement, which includes procurement, which includes distribution, and a couple of things which we'll see in the coming slides. In Oxford Dictionary, what is the definition of logistics? The organization of movement, housing means warehouses, and supplying troops and equipments. This was something related to some troops. When you see, it's related to army and all, correct? So supplying troops and equipment, that is your logistics Oxford Dictionary definition. Movement, storage, supplying the demand, and the required equipments. Now, Logistics is a part of supply chain management. It's a part of supply chain management that deals with the efficient forward and reverse flow of goods, services, and related information from the point of origin to point of consumption according to the needs of customer. Logistic management is a component that holds the supply chain together. It's a very big statement. That's why in the opening slide, when we have seen that, I have mentioned specifically it is an integral part of supply chain management. Logistic wing or section or the subset of supply chain management completely deals with the forward flow of goods and reverse flow of goods. When we say reverse flow of goods means what? Recycling. Because nowadays recycling is becoming an integral part of supply chain management. So logistics got an additional responsibility to even take care of the discarded material, not allowing them to go to landfill, rather bringing them back to the production cycles and operation cycles, reuse of it. And because logistics is involved into this movement from start to end, as we discussed in our previous session, the data's information is generated. So the logistics have a responsibility to transfer that data or first to generate that data. Logistics is responsible for generation of those real-time information. How many fleets on street? What is the warehouse data? What is the warehouse inventory? What is an inbound inventory? What is an outbound inventory? All data. So logistics generate that data. And it ensures that this vital information is passed on to supply chain management portal. That's the reason it's not only the logistic of goods and services, it is logistics of data also, which is vital component essentially required for supply chain management. By this time, you already know now what is supply chain and logistic, but just to understand the basics of it. Supply chain vis-a-vis logistics. Supply chains are responsible for overall sourcing, processing, and delivering of goods to end customer, while logistics specifically focuses on moving and storing goods between different supply chain organizations. Supply chain still holds the big responsibility. Overall sourcing, what will the plans, what is the strategy for sourcing? Do you want to change the raw material source? Do you want to hire more manufacturing premises? Do you want to outsource processing premises? Do you want to open a new region for customer basis, correct? Because your demand curve is expected to drop in this particular region. So do you want to relook for your other region for supply or your new region of customers? That is supply chain, a big picture, complete picture. And logistics supports business as usual practices of supply chain, as well as it supports any change mechanism, management of change is happening in supply chain management. So logistics is a focused area supporting the movements of goods and stores as per the supply chain strategy and as per the predefined supply chain organizations. Supply chain management is the coordination and management of supply chain of an organization. It's a big concept actually. Supply chain management and the supply chain, complete coordination, management information, MIS, management information system coordination, goods movement coordination, real-time logistics concept, everything is dealt by supply chain. Whereas logistic management is the process of integration and maintenance of goods in an organization. flow and storage of goods in an organization. So by this time, you must have understood more clearly supply chain vis-a-vis logistics. Roles of logistics: transportation and delivery, storage, that will be warehouse storage, packaging, raw material packaging, finished good packaging, customized packaging, unit packaging, everything. Cargo handling, distribution processes, first mile, mid mile, and last mile deliveries, we'll see in the coming slide, and information processing. And many systems have been put in place to deliver product from the production location or the factory to consumer quickly and on time. Last mile delivery, efficiency of last mile deliveries. So that is the very basic and fundamental role of logistics. Overall process of managing how resources are acquired, stored, and transported to their final destination. Yes. Resources, you can say that it could be a service resource, it could be a product resource, correct? So how they'll be acquired, how they'll be taking care of, taking off, loading, unloading, storages, transportation to final destination. Logistic management involves identifying prospective distributors and suppliers and determining their effectiveness and accessibility. The terms which we are using, prospective distributors or the existing distributors, suppliers, the logistic team on ground is in connect with all this in face-to-face contact or one-to-one contact. So the logistic team is the most knowledgeable team regarding the distribution network available in the system. Logistic team is aware about which warehouses are good to maintain or to keep your product so that its quality do not get impacted. It's a logistic team is aware about this concept. Which cargo services are better? Which are third-party logistic services are better, which can deliver the goods and their track records is best to deliver in time? Logistic teams knows about it. So that's the reason that logistic management involves selecting the right distributor, selecting right warehouses, selecting the right kind of third-party logistics, which can support your goods movement in time as per with complete safety and as per maintaining the product quality, whether it is the raw material quality or the finished good quality. There are 7 R's are very famous in logistics. Generally, this kind of work 3D, 7 R's, they're all in different management branches. They are considered as a hands out of the focus area in that particular management wing. So similarly, there are 7 R's of logistics. What are those 7 R's basically, if you want to see them? Right product, right customer, right time, right place, right condition, right quantity, right cost. In logistics, it's very important that you are doing the logistics for right product. You are identifying the right customers. you are doing in time and in place. You are maintaining the right conditions across the logistics. Your logistic is not making any particular place overstuffing. That means you are maintaining logistics is maintaining right quantity across the supply chain, and definitely at the right cost without overpaying excessive cost for warehouse storages or on the on-wheel transportation. So that's the most important thing to understand in logistics, maintaining the basic concepts of logistics, which is demonstrated by 7 R's. Let's look for now the logistics cycle. What are the logistics cycles? First, it includes, what are the inclusions in that? Is a complete list of activities from procurement of goods or material to their final delivery to the customer. When I say goods or materials, means they are the raw material. Bringing them, processing them, and sending it to the customer. What are the main activities of logistics? Procurement, raw material procurement, or any accessories procurement. Maintaining the operational spares, that is also procurement. It's not only the raw material always. Procurement of utilities, air, water. Transport and delivery. Yes. Warehouse, receipt and storage. So these are the main activities of logistics. Procurement, transport and delivery, warehousing, receipt and storage. The elements of logistics which are built around the list of activities and the main activities. Storage, warehousing, and materials handling. You have to store the material, correct? You are warehousing the material and you are handling the material. Loading, unloading, on wheels, complete material handling. Packaging and unitization. See, there will be a different kind of packagings are there. There will be a raw material packaging, then your finished good packaging in bulk, finished good packaging in unit form, because ultimately the ultimate aim is to have a minimum unit, smallest unit which consumer purchases from you in the market. So bulk packaging, unit packaging. Then inventory, transport, information and control. Inventory means either it's a raw material inventory or it's a finished good inventory. Logistics and the transportation. See, the transport word is used under the umbrella of logistics here. Logistics does not mean it's a transportation only. Logistics means complete cycle of transportation, procurement, warehousing, storage, delivery to the customer. Then comes information and control. Remember in previous slides, we said that the real-time information is very important. So logistics owns that responsibility to generate that real-time information because they are the first person connected with the activity on the ground. So the information is generated. That information is transported communicated to supply chain management portal. Supply chain management takes the process that information. It could be a demand forecast, it could be procurement forecast, it could be inventory forecast, correct? And the message, that was an input side of it. But at the same time, processed information, processed instructions, processed advices are being forwarded back to logistic for implementation. So that's why the logistics bear the responsibility of generating the real-time information, giving to supply chain management portal. Simple example. The particular region, the sales numbers are dropping since past 3 months. And this information is being given on day-to-day basis or weekly to weekly basis to the supply chain management portal. And the source of information is your logistics team. Now supply chain management teams are taking a demand forecast and they are identifying that the demand trend, because of some reasons, some business environment conditions, is going to drop for next 6 to 8 weeks like this, then again it is going to be on the recovery path. This information is shared with logistic teams who are involved in procurement, transportation, warehouse, correct? They are in coordination with operations and every component involved in that. They share this information is available, visible information is available, and accordingly, the raw material procurement is reduced for next 2 to 3 weeks time or 6 weeks time, and that is being shared visibly. That is shared with an open platform with the raw material supplier, that our demand curves are dropping for next 6 to 8 weeks time. So our offtake of your raw material will be also less for next 6 to 8 weeks time, but then we are predicting to grow it more, so accordingly. So all these things on grounds are dealt by the logistics. That's why it is called information and control. So these are the logistic cycles containing activities, main activities, and the elements. Now, by the different terminologies, as I said, logistics types by the fields, different fields are there. For example, logistics of supply, logistics of production, logistics of distribution, and the reverse logistics. So that is a basic differentiation of logistics types by field, nature of the field. Because why we say field, when we are talking field, it deals with specific set of activities and specific specialized nature of the activities. When we say supply, it includes your procurement, it includes negotiation with the suppliers of the raw materials, then the distribution networks, in the supply itself, when the suppliers of raw materials are also involved as a third party with you, either that you company can do directly, your logistics team can do directly, or they can do a raw material procurement through suppliers and distributors of raw material, not the finished good distributors. So the point here is this, that's why this is one set of nature. Then production is something which is in the boundaries of your premises, of your manufacturing premises. So it required a special set of skills. Distribution is again reaching to your distributors with finished good, then directly dealing with the customers, collecting the customer informations, studying the customer's behavior, correct? Taking the new regions into the marketing and sales department. Do you want to expand to the global networks of distribution? So it again requires a specific skill set. And the horizon of stakeholders with whom you are dealing, logistics is dealing, they are different at different fields. Raw material supplier has nothing to do with your finished good distribution network. They are completely away. But logistics team has to coordinate with a special skill set with each field. Reverse logistics, collecting the discarded product from the consumer network. Correct? It's another skill set. And bringing it back to your production network, that is another skill set. So that's why the reverse logistics is a complete different skill set, which has a forecast, regional forecast, life of the product, how many times they are using it, correct? Which region is using in what frequency, there is a discard of material, correct? So this is what all is another skill set. That's why the logistics also deals with the specialized area and the divided as per the various fields of supply, production, distribution, and reverse as per the skill sets. Procurement logistics, supply logistics, procurement logistics, you can say synonyms. Of course, two words are never exactly the same, but yes, broad action is procurement. Sourcing of materials needed to manufacture products. In other words, this part of the supply chain focuses on purchasing raw materials, replacement parts, auxiliary supplies, operating supplies, and other items needed for manufacturing processes to work. Just in 2 slides before I was telling this point, we don't need only the raw material to manufacture something, correct? When you are procuring the raw material and you are processing in your manufacturing premises, so to run that manufacturing premises, you require machines. And when machines are there, machines may go bad. So you need the spare parts, you need the specialized maintenance services, correct? So procurement of services to maintain that manufacturing premises, correct? Auxiliaries, you need electricity to run the machines. You may need diesel to run that machines. You will need water, you need air. So there are auxiliary supplies. Operating supplies, you may need some chemicals for your manufacturing of your products. Not only the main raw material, you could be a couple of ancillaries may be required. So basically, it deals with all kind of procurements needed or essentially required to produce a product, including raw material. The meaning of procurement logistics is this. So it arranges everything essentially required, it procures everything which is essentially required to produce your finished good. Next is production logistics. Flow of goods that includes the management of procured part and materials, distribution inside a factory, product management, packaging and shipping to warehouse. Now this is, when we are talking production logistics, your idea can suddenly be focused into the premises of where you have a manufacturing hub. It could be a cement plant. It could be an electronics manufacturing factory. They're manufacturing mobile, for example. They're manufacturing circuit boards. They're manufacturing mobile displays. Any number, any product you can imagine, correct? So whatever the procured parts are, raw material has been delivered to them. They are processing it. They are distributing with the factory premises. They are doing the right product management, because it's not they are producing only one. And this point to be understood very clearly. When the demand curve changes in the market, the most important thing which get impacted or which has to be most dynamic is the production logistics. Because you may be generating 10 types of mobile in your factory. So as per the demand curve, you have to adjust your production cycle for type A of mobile. This month production need to be scaled 2 times. And the product D type sales are dropping as per the forecast. So you have to reduce its production by 30%. So it's a dynamic situation on the product side or the forecast side, directly dealt with number of units manufactured per day in production premises. So the product management is one of the biggest dynamic challenge in the production logistics. So it need to be agile, it need to be that flexible to accommodate this kind of product management changes within the production logistics. Packaging and shipping to warehouse, yes. Once the products are made, it need to be either it will be a bulk packaging to the distribution houses and due for unit packaging in the warehouse or fulfillment center. We'll see that what is the fulfillment center and warehouses in some couple of slides. But the concept here is that packaging good for shipment to the distribution centers, either bulk packaging or unitized packaging or both together, need to be identified as are identified as a part of production logistics. Sales logistics or distribution, the third field of logistics as per the field classification. This is also called distribution logistics. Comprise all processes of design, management, and control necessary to transfer product or services from a manufacturer to its customers. Complete sales logistic network. Suddenly, the demand of region A is getting changed. It is dropping, but demand of region B is increasing. So you are mobilizing your transportation. You are not only transportation, you are rearranging your adjustment with the warehouses in region B, because now region B demand curve is growing. So most probably you will be needing more warehouse space in region B. So you are going to enrich your distribution network. You are adding more distributors to your panel, potential distributors. You are eyeing on the brand distributors in the regions who has great standing in that region, and you want them to be on your board so that you have a reliable distribution networking in the region. So selecting the potential distributors, making the rearrangements of forecast distribution and forecast demands, and implementing the necessary control as per supply chain management portals or supply chain management controls directives provided. And ensuring the product reaches at right cost, at right time, with the right quality, with all safety precautions to the customers. The fourth field, we have already given the products in the hands of customers now. Okay, so now when it is given to the products, customer is using your product, and when it is ready to be discarded, so company eyes on it. Already there are emblems are coming up on your boxes and everything. Whenever we take the product after use, we give you the product and we take it back. Correct? We offer you some discount when you want to buy the new products, or we pay you the money for the recycled product or discarded product. So this is called reverse logistics. It's called recovery logistics. It's called recycle logistics. You'll find different names for that. Is the flow that recovers and recycles products, containers, and packaging that have fulfilled their roles. See, it's not only the product, by the way. Even the containers also recycle. Because the time you give a product to your customer throws away the packaging, correct? or whatever containers are there for that unit. And then they start using their product. Probably there are some containers which will be discarded only once the product is finished inside it. That's something different, like especially the medicine bottles, glass bottles. So that is something different. But in general, if the mobile packaging is there, normally you throw that packaging, correct? And you take out the mobile and start using it. So there is a different timeline to recycle the mobile and to recycle the packaging of the mobile. Packaging of the mobile is available immediately as soon as you sell the product within the next 24 hours, whereas the mobile will be available for recycle maybe after 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, depending on the timelines or depending on the wish of the customer, basically. So this is what the potential elements of recycle products, containers, and packagings. Emphasis is being placed on this flow is recycle-oriented societies. That's very important. Now, many products you can see, on that you will see, it's made from the recycled, correct? That encourages a customer that recycle is adding a value and putting less load on the global resources by using it. So that's why it's nothing but creating a culture of recycling, because handing over of discard products, containers, and packaging is surely depends on the customer. It could go to landfill, or it can again come back to the recycle network. That's specific to the customer's behavior and customer's culture. So that's why recycled oriented societies are, many discussions are happening on this. Societies awareness programs are there on this, and it is being implemented, and the plan is to implement it at a larger scale. Since last 2 sessions, I was talking about inbound and outbound, correct? And so from the picture, you are clear, correct? From this, supplier to company, whatever the raw materials are going, they are the inbound logistics. Then from company to the customer, it is an outbound logistics. And wherever the product, after its life cycle is over, a discarded product, recycling, good for recycling or recovery, is follow the reverse logistics path. So these are the 3 types of logistics: inbound, outbound logistics, and reverse logistics. The inbound logistics is basically the way material and other goods are brought into a company. This process includes the steps to order, receive, store, transport, and manage incoming supplies. Inbound logistics focuses on the supply part of the supply-demand equation. Correct? This is a very important statement. Inbound logistics focuses on supply part of the supply-demand equation. So if the demand is dropping, supply needs to drop. If demand is increasing, supply needs to increase. The raw material supply, auxiliary supplies, machines availability requirement, essential components. So demand impacts supply. But who will take care of this supply? That is called inbound logistics, which focuses on supply part of demand supply equations, demand supply curves. Inbound logistics is a term referring to each stage of the process involved in the transfer of supplies and material to a business ahead of being processed and sent to the customer. That's very clear. Upstream. Inbound logistics, you can say upstream logistics also. A classic example of inbound logistics is when raw material or finished items are transported from fulfillment center or a warehouse. Don't get confused by the finished item here, okay? Because the most important thing is, as I said yesterday or in our previous sessions, that anything which need to reach the company premises to manufacture something, it could be in the form of raw material, it could be form of another finished good as an ancillary supplies, which is essentially required to make the final products. For example, if you are manufacturing the mobile phones and you are getting the finished product, one of the finished product, which is called the display. So that is being given to you as a finished good to manufacture or to assemble your mobile. Motherboards, batteries. So you're not manufacturing them in your premises, you are assembling it. But there will be some raw material which will be there, maybe case painting or the holders, correct? Which you may manufacture partly as a raw material, you receive the raw material and you manufacture in this premises. So the concept of inbound logistics is starting from the sources, all the sources, to the manufacturing premises. Outbound logistics. Shipping out of finished product to customer from a warehouse or a distribution center. It consists of order fulfillment processes, including picking, packing, shipping, and delivering of packages. The finished goods to the customer from warehouses, from distribution centers, correct? And what is this? You have to pick first. Then the packaging need to be done. Then shipment need to be done. Packaging for the shipment, and then delivery of product need to be done. This is how the outbound logistics really defined in the terms. And the example or the steps of the or process of outbound logistics is what? See, the customer places an order, correct? Then order is confirmed, okay? The product picked in the warehouse, order is picked at packed at warehouse, truck picks up daily orders and drive to distribution center, delivery driver picks up order at distribution center, the package is delivered to the customer. Couple of online distribution agencies are there, okay, platforms are there who are following the same thing. So when the customer places an online order, when you are placing on a particular website, you are placing an online order, this process happens. Product is lying somewhere, correct? So that product need to be picked up. It need to be packed at warehouse, or which we call it fulfillment center. The difference between warehouse and fulfillment center is the fulfillment center has better capability to pack the customer needs, packaging for the particular products to be distributed to the customer directly from the bulk packagings. Then the truck picks up order and drive to distribution center. Delivery drivers picks up order at distribution. The distribution center will be assembled where all the order materials will be there. And then another last mile connectivity drivers will be picking up from the distribution centers, and that will be delivered to the customer. This picture will get better clarity when we see the first mile, mid mile, and the last mile deliveries to the customer. But this is a process normally which happens in the outbound logistics. The reverse logistics moves goods from customer back to the sellers or manufacturers. Once a customer receives a product, processes such a return or recycle required reverse logistics. When consumer return to store to buy the latest model, just giving an example, okay? They ask for the old models, give it to us. Not one example. There are many examples of like this. Bring your product, okay? Many of the jeans companies also doing that. Bring your old clothes, okay? We'll give you some discount, okay? And take the new products with a discounted price. That is the methodology adopted in, or which encourages, the reverse logistics. So what is the benefit of it actually? When the store wants to offer some discount on that old products, recycled product, or the discarded product, and they want to sell you the new product at discounted price, your reverse logistic first mile means taking from the hands of customer and to take a collection center. It could be a local your local distribution centers, your local sales offices, or your retail outlets. So automatically the products from each house is coming out and traveling to the retail shops. So one of the biggest challenges achieved with the help of this. Bring the old one, take the discount on the new one. So this is one of the prominent steps being taken in the concept of avoiding the waste and encouraging the reverse logistics. But it need to be scaled a lot. It need to be done for many products. For example, cars in India, government of India already, in many countries in the world, they have said that after this many years, you have to really give this car for scrapping. So there is a scrapping policy. And once you take a certificate, you are going to get a discount from government on the taxations and duties. So this kind of reverse logistics, the world is working on it at a larger scale, more and more larger scale, so that reverse logistics should become as effective as forward logistics. Yesterday, we have seen in our previous sessions, we have seen that the challenges, barriers, okay, limitations of supply chain. Logistics challenges are also not at a much great difference from it, because this is an integral part of the supply chain management. But this need to be seen from the logistic point of view also. So the first challenge is labor and shipping shortages. Even though you have a great contract with the shipping agencies, you have subcontracting with the labor supplying agencies, but the shortage is one of the challenge which is being often faced. And the most important reason behind it is that supply demand curve changes. So no company efforts to maintain its own terms and conditions or hiring the labor for a period when their demand is low, their supplies and their demand and supplies are low. So they cannot afford to maintain these overheads. So accordingly, the labor and shipping shortages are always a challenge in the scenario of demand and supply fluctuating curves. Freight costs, rising freight cost, yes. One of the reasons for freight cost rise is basically the fuel and other things may not be rising, or maybe it's a cyclic as far as fuel is concerned, but maintainability of the freight vehicles, shipping, they are becoming costly day by day. And the trucks which used to purchase at X price a couple of years back, now they become 2X price. So ultimately, when the same trucks are being used for the shipping purposes or the logistic inland logistics purposes, correct, automatically it increases the freight cost. So that's the direct impact on the freight cost. The point here is why we are discussing this impact on freight cost and all, because your customer is completely blind about all these aspects. And that's why it is called as a challenge. The day you say that your freight cost has increased by 5% or maybe another 1%, and accordingly you are trying to sell your product to customer at 1% price more, and you are telling your customer, look, our freight cost has increased, that's why I'm increasing by 1% the product, your customer will try to look for another alternative. So the customer really does not able to imagine the situations being faced by the manufacturers and the suppliers. So that's why this become a challenge, that you wanted to maintain the same quality, same cost, same price of your product to your customer, whereas you are facing the other limitations and shortages, which customer is not aware about, or he is aware, but he cannot scale it. Managing complex systems, yes, multiple logistics, multiple transportation systems, multiple warehouse systems, procurement systems, supply chain procurement systems. There are many complex systems are there. And why the complex we are talking, supply chain management is ensuring that they give a right advice to right time, getting the right system. But when it comes to the realization on the ground levels, logistics have to control or implement the revised methodologies and revised strategies. Or I will say, logistics have to implement the tactics as per the need of the time and as directed by supply chain management. Handling customer expectations. The logistics is a team which sees the customer face to face, by the way. So you have to meet the customer expectations, delivery of quality, delivery in time, the products, flexibility and scalability. Yes, the demand, both words can be covered in agile. If I use the word agile, this concept is covered. That means the demand and supply curves changes need to be implemented with complete flexibility and scalability. Cost efficiency, maintaining the cost efficiency. Freight cost is increasing, but you still want to maintain the cost efficiency. So that's another challenge. Access to expertise and experience. Human resource turnovers is one of the big challenge in all industries, not only logistics and supply chain, all industries. So you are tend to lose experts and experiences. So retaining the knowledge pool is one of the big challenge. If I say in simple word for this, access to expertise and experience, if I say, so I will say that retaining the knowledge pool is a big challenge. And this is not only for logistics, it is for across all the industry factors. But yes, this is a challenge. Improved customer satisfaction. Customer demands more. He expects more every time from you, improvisation. So how to satisfy your customer on continuous basis is always a challenge. I'm using the words, correct? You saw that. I was using the word first mile delivery, mid mile delivery, and last mile delivery. This last mile delivery is very important. Either warehouses or when you place an online order, Warehouses are directly delivering to your house, directly to you, or you are just walking to the stores, or the stores are delivering to you. This is a very simple concept of last mile delivery. It's not something very hi-fi. The concept is very simple. Last mile delivery means bringing the goods or giving the goods in the hands of customer. It can be done from your nearby stores, or it can be done through the warehouses, nearby warehouses. Both way possible. Because we understood now last mile delivery, let's understand the concept of first mile, middle mile, and the last mile. What is the first mile? I did not to express much on this concept because the picture itself is very clear. You can see the first mile. The first mile is what? From manufacturer to distribution center. Okay. It is important as it provides accurate information of the package for later delivery processes, helps in keeping the supply chain and inventory organized and packaging shipments properly. It ensures that the middle mile delivery and last mile delivery is smooth and efficient. See, the first mile delivery is very important because the manufacturers are working as per the changing demand and supply curves. And accordingly, distribution centers are receiving the goods per day manufactured, per week manufactured. And then it is handed over to the middle mile delivery of logistics, where it is traveling within the country, within the region, across the country, from one country to another country, and reaching the distribution centers of the same company or maybe another distribution center of any third-party logistics systems you are giving it, correct? So that is very important, that first mile deliveries, first mile packaging, it includes packagings, correct? Everything should be so accurate so that the right product reaches to when it happens to the last mile delivery to the customer. Middle mile or the second mile delivery is a delivery of goods from a warehouse or distribution center to fulfillment center facilities from where consumer purchases their products. Now the right word has come, that fulfillment center. So we'll talk about it. See, now the product has reached to the another area. Another area in the sense means from the distribution centers of the manufacturing area in country A, now it has reached to country B. And from this country B, the products are bulk packed. Let's take an example. The products are in bulk packaging right now. Okay. And it has a unit packaging also within the bulk packaging. Okay, that's also the case. Now, when it reaches another country by ship or by the flight, air cargo, okay, then it reaches from there to the distribution center of that particular country. Or maybe if it is within the same country, it has traveled by rail cargo, another region, another states. In that, it is being stored at a middle distribution center, second mile distribution center, which could be a hub for that country or which could be a hub for that particular state. So the distribution center, what you are seeing right now at the middle mile or the second mile, is the distribution center which deals that regional distribution or regional distribution center or a country distribution center. From here, this regional distribution center, the product goes to another distribution center, which is near to particular towns, districts, okay, where the last mile delivery or it will be reaching to the customer of that particular town or that city. So that is called your local distribution centers, which receives the material, because the regional distribution center may be supporting 5 states, 6 states. We don't know that exactly, depends on the configuration. But it will be giving it to maybe 5 cities, 10 cities, 20 cities. We don't know that. So the distribution center is close to your customers. And finally, either this distribution center will be delivering directly to the customer, or it will be delivering to the retail outlet in the region, where in the town where the customers are there, and it reaches the customer directly. In between, when we were discussing middle mile or second mile, the fulfillment facility discussion was held, which indicates clearly that now the fulfillment center will do a repackaging for the different distribution centers across the country or across the state, multiple last mile delivery distribution center, and it will package individually for them. So probably if the distribution center at the middle mile, maybe number 1, 2, 3, or 4, distribution center in the last mile could be in the number of hundreds, because they are small in size. They are catering to the specific town, city requirements and specific district distribution requirements. And from there, it is given to the retail outlet or to the customers directly. So in a product, I'm just reading the last mile for you now. In a product's journey from warehouse shelf to the back of a truck to a customer doorstep, the last mile of delivery is the final step of the process. The point at which the package finally arrives at the buyer's store. Or you can say the product is unpacked by the customer. With this, we will hold our session 3 here. So we will see in our next session, on session 4, on that. That will be definitely interesting, and who want to pursue their career in logistics or in supply chain management, that will be one of the critical sessions we'll be having it. So with this, wish you all the best, and we'll discuss more on the party logistics, third party logistics in session 4 of supply chain management.